worry about something, worry about this idea of being messed up and needing reform. And if you worry about that primarily, then evangelism will happen almost automatically. Well, in that video, I moved my hands around a lot. Anybody else agree? It was like all over the place, almost automatically. That's the part that I wanted to get, because I wanted to make sure that it was clear. I wasn't saying entirely automatically. Evangelism isn't a Selbstläufer, which is what Germans call something that just runs on its own. It does need a little bit of push, and it doesn't need a whole lot of push because, like I was saying in that last video, the basis of it is the real difference that's in people who are participating in Jesus' spirituality. This is the Sanctus Forum. Hey everybody, and I am Michael Stewart Robb, and it is cold in my apartment here, so I've got my coffee cup here to warm my fingers. It's not terribly cold outside, but it's cold for me. We're talking about how evangelism is, on one hand, not my favorite, or hasn't been one of my favorite parts of being a friend of Jesus, and yet it's still something that you can't get rid of. And one of the problems is that there are a lot of folks out there maybe doing it in a way that's not terribly congruent with what Jesus would do, and that kind of causes some misunderstandings, and caused misunderstandings for me. So in a sense, I'm just trying to, re-look into it. So I want to back up again and talk again about what Western spirituality really is. And today I want to talk about how it's a series of relationships. And that's the sort of thing that Jesus's friends tend to try to do. They tend to try to be in relationship with each other and with a lot of people in the world. And I don't know if you are a church person, if you're a friend of Jesus, if you really have noticed how important that tends to be for our tradition of just getting to know other people. As an example of that, this weekend, actually we had a lot of people that we were meeting up with, and on Saturday night we had some friends over, a family that we know in the city here, and I don't think it occurred to any of us that that was a just regular expression of the fact that we were all friends of Jesus, that was an expression of our practicing Western spirituality. And one of these friends, actually both of them are psychotherapists. So they meet a lot of people, and people that are in trouble and people that they're trying to help with psychotherapy. And one of the things that he in particular has to deal with people is the sense of spirituality, sense of religion, sense of purpose, philosophy, what's my life about. And people try out things. It's something that he may bring up in a session. And he says that he has some clients who think that it would be good for them to go to the Buddhist center here in Munich, and maybe they would be able to help them. And maybe they are able to help them. But one thing that he says that they often report back to him about is that the Buddhist center is not really a place where you would connect with other people. It's really a place where you go to be alone. And then he said something really interesting. He said that one of the things that I think is very special about Western spirituality, that wasn't his word, is the relationships, and about getting to know other people and being in relationship with one another. And you see the difference there, that really isn't at the heart of Buddhism and the teachings of Buddha, of just recognizing other people and valuing them and, getting to know them, being their friend or associate or brother, sister. One of the things that God wants to bless the world with is not just his own presence and his own ability or willingness to relate to us, but also relationships with one another. And that's one reason why it's going to be very rare that you would come into contact with Jesus apart from coming into contact with one of Jesus's friends. It just doesn't tend to be one of the ways that God uses. And the reason for that is that people are, according to Jesus, really the most fundamental things in reality. It is a personal universe, and relationships are incredibly important because people are incredibly important. And therefore, that's why relationships, friendships, are one of the most congruent ways for evangelism to happen in or for Western spirituality. So let me put that in a different way. People who are practitioners of Western spirituality should strive to be in relationship with a lot of people, even if these people do not ever become friends of Jesus. And they should do that because these other people are valuable, because that's the most fundamental part of reality, that there are people in this world and they don't want to miss out on something that's so incredibly important as other people. So if there's something that you can do, it's to ask yourself, who are you befriending? And are you a good friend to the people that you're already friends with? And I wouldn't start with befriending your enemies. I would just start with the people in your circle, and don't think of it as something passive. Think of it as something active, like I'm going to be a good friend to these people that I already know, rather than asking the question, who's my friend and how can I reciprocate that friendship that's already there. Go on the proactive side and try to be friends to those people who are already in some relative distance to you, whether they know Jesus or not, whether they're very good friends with him or not. Just start there and just be a good friend to them, whether they ever convert or if some kind of evangelism happens. Great. And if not, just enjoy the fact that you can be in relationship with other people. And you will find, I think, that this is an extraordinary privilege. I mean, the number of people that I have met in my life, just by virtue of the fact that I am a friend of Jesus, and meeting people and getting to know them is part of what we do. I do tend to be more of an introvert. So, don't think of me as, kind of thriving off of this, but it really is a privilege. And the number of people that I've been privileged to meet over the years, people that I can't even stay in touch with, and hi everybody, if you're watching this, it's great to get to know you. And go over to Sanctus Institute, our website, and sign up for our almost monthly newsletter, and you can kind of be in contact with me. I'm the one still who writes that newsletter, and it comes out when I am able to write a new one. So it's about time. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for subscribing if you haven't subscribed already. And I will see you in the next chapter. Still dumb. Bye. Cold now.